Sanbonani Bo Love. I hope you're all well. I hope you're doing great. I am Makosi Dlamini Usne, and I'm your resident host, oracle, and astrologer. Kind of forgot there for a minute where I was going. The life of being immutable, am I right? So I'm kind of like bummed out because the first time I recorded this, it went well, but then I lost the recording after I edited it. So I'm so bummed. I'm gonna try my best to recreate the episode. But you know how that is. Anyway, so today I wanted to talk about what is astrology. I wanted us to start at the beginning. What are we doing? What are we talking about? What is it? Why are we even bothering with this thing? What is the hype? Right? So essentially, astrology is a study or a practice of looking at the sky and saying, when this happens in the sky, this happens on Earth. So we find correlations between celestial movements and events here on Earth. And over time, that developed a pattern. Okay. Astrology can be traced back to the beginning of civilization. I'm talking 1500 BCE. That's how far back we can trace astrology. So since then, we have been noticing patterns between the sky and on Earth. So as above, so below. That is the premise. And we've heard that, especially us who grew up in religious households, this is something that is not new. Even in spirituality, we do as above, so below, and as within, so without. If there's no peace on the inside, the person will have no peace in their lives. Right? This is a premise that we know we've accepted as real. Okay? Now, I'm not going to go into the history of astrology. There's a great video that was released by Chris Brennan and the Astrology Podcast. You can go and check that out. I'm going to just give a brief overview just to get to my next point, but do check out that video. It is really, really awesome. So the Western astrology that we're talking about emerged from Mesopotamia, but there were other systems already being practiced around the world, right? Astrology started out focused on the nation or the ruler of the nation as a representative for the nation and what the future of that nation holds. Okay, and then later astrology develops into natal astrology, etc., etc., etc. There are many different types and branches and systems within astrology, and I'm not going to even try and name them all. Just go through some of the main ones or the most popular ones that we know of today. We have mundane astrology, which is world astrology, or where we look at the transits to see how they affect a nation, a country, or the ruler. We also have electional astrology, which is when we use the stars to pick an auspicious date. We have horary astrology that we use to answer specific questions. Relationship astrology, which is when we explore the synastry on the composite charts between people. Can do this between 2 people, 3 people, etc. And we look at how their energies influence each other and what the chart of the actual relationship looks like. We also now have astrocartography, financial astrology, medical astrology, psychological astrology, and so many more types. It's important to know these different branches because you want to know who to go to and what techniques do they know, because all of these different branches use different techniques even though the symbols might be the same, the formulas and the interpretation will not be the same. We also have different astrology based on different cultures who have adopted astrology and then mixed it with their own cultures in practice. We've got Babylonian astrology, Chinese astrology, Hellenistic astrology, Hindu astrology, Jewish astrology, Christian astrology, etc., etc., etc. What we can gather from this is that astrology is flexible and we can adjust it to our own lived experiences, our own cultures. And that gets me on to this next point, that if you're African, you're probably wondering already, okay, what about the Africans? What did they do? What's their system? Don't they have a system? And it's difficult to answer that question because so much of our history was destroyed and not codified and twisted, and we're just disconnected from the ancient knowledge that we used to have. There are many instances of African practices that relate to talking about the stars. We do have Inzalo Yelanga, which is the Adam's calendar in Africa, that is nicknamed the birthplace of the sun. Adam's calendar is a megalithic stone calendar. This calendar is believed to be over 75,000 years old, which would make it the world's oldest man-made structure. Furthermore, Hellenistic astrology is a mixture of the astrology that began in Mesopotamia and the practice that was already established in Egypt at the time when the Greeks had taken over Egypt. We know in Egypt they had the zodiac wheel on their temples. Their approach was more heliocentric, so focused on the sun's 24-hour cycle, versus the others who were focused on the movement of the ecliptic. And when I'm just thinking about being umZulu, being umuntu, being African, being from Southern Africa, and how the sun is central to our beliefs still to this day, I have to believe that even down here in the South, we had some knowledge or some practice of astrology, even though we don't have it documented. I've actually been looking into this as I've been finding some overlap between the astrological Western tradition and the practices that we do in isiZulu. And this is something that I continue to blog about as I uncover. But there is absolutely an intersection between Zulu culture and astrological practices. And that tells me that we were always in tune with the stars. We've always known, even though we might not have those words right now. But I do believe that it's knowledge that we can uncover. And that is my whole mission with my content creation, to uncover this link. Besides these branches and different traditions of interpreting astrology, there are also different systems within astrology. The two most popular distinction would be tropical versus sidereal. And the difference between the two is that the tropical is looking at where the constellations were the first time they were documented. The sidereal zodiac accounts for the precision of the equinoxes. The different systems, tropical and sidereal, they divide the sky differently. They have different frameworks for calculating different regions of the sky. So in sidereal astrology, the zodiac signs are not divided equally, unlike in tropical astrology where all the 12 signs occupy 30 degrees. So sidereal, you'll find that it is a few days ahead. So where Aries season would start on the 21st of March, Aries season for the sidereal zodiac would start on the 14th of April. So personally, I've been using tropical because that is what I've been taught, right? That is how I started. However, the more I do my research, the more I am leaning towards sidereal or the use of sidereal. However, I haven't made the switch completely because the interpretations, the archetypes will change slightly. So you have to learn a whole new language, so to speak. You have to learn the new significations before you can start using them. Aries is not exactly the same as it is in sidereal. We also have different systems of dividing the chart. So in Vedic astrology, which would be the astrology that's practiced in India, their charts are not circular. They are rectangular with triangles. So you do get different types of birth charts formulations. You also get different house systems like whole sign houses, Placidus, equal, Koch. So these house systems also divide the sky differently, and the astrologer will choose based on their culture, their training, what aligns with their technical experience. So again, knowing all of this is important because you want to know what system does your astrologer use, what tradition of interpretation are they going to be using, so that you understand the techniques that they'll be using, the beliefs that inform their practice. So astrology is pattern analysis, it's timing. It helps us understand who we are, what we're dealing with, the cycles that we are in, how to navigate life with more awareness. If you've been wanting a deep, accurate, and empowering astrology reading, my Black Friday special is now live. For a limited time, you can get a 40-page personalized annual guidebook covering your solar return, perfection year, major transits, ingresses, eclipses, and detailed interpretations tailored to your chart, all for 444 Rand. It's perfect if you want clarity for 2025, direction for your goals, or insight into the cycles shaping your year. Spots are limited, so if you feel called, grab yours while the special is still active. Head on over to brightsparkastrology.com and find the reading that's perfect for you. If you enjoyed this episode, please like, share, and subscribe, or leave a comment down below. Thank you for listening. See you next time.